All right, this shit right here made me feel hella old the other day. This story says, for Christmas, I tried to replace my mom's slowly dying Blu-ray player. And since I was in the local mall, I stepped into Best Buy and asked if they had any Blu-ray players. She looked at me bewildered. Y'all, she tried. No shade on her. She did try her best. She pulled out the mobile stock checker thing and typed in Blu-ray, which she misspelt, so I gently corrected her, and we found one in the computer department, supposedly. Upon getting there, we discovered it was a blank disc burner and not a Blu-ray player. She was befuddled that there was actually something with physical media storage, not something like on the internet. I aged a decade in the span of 2 seconds and spontaneously developed more gray hairs. I thought this was
God
kind of
dang.
funny, yeah. I had my niece ask me the other day if she said Uncle Alex was a really, back in the day, payphones everywhere. I wanted to punch her in her little
Bro.
ass. I was like, yeah, there was payphones, man. There was all sorts of stuff.
Bro.
But
That's the only reason why I keep my Xbox One, like the original, like after the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, because it's a Blu-ray player, and I know it still works. I don't use the console, but I don't even have a lot of Blu-ray or anything, but that's why I have it mostly.
yeah, Elijah's wanting his own Xbox. We're playing Fortnite together now. And he plays on his iPad, and he's like, I want to play on Xbox. And he's been practicing with the controller, like in his spare time to get used to the buttons. It was just easier on the iPad for him in the beginning. But where we can't
That's what's up.
play split screen. So on that note, I'm like,
Well, I mean,
okay.
that's a lot of real estate for him to grab with those little hands and stuff.
Yeah, he's doing it though. He's getting better at it. I'm gonna have to get him TV and all sorts of stuff and get him hooked up proper though. So I'm excited to do that.
Yeah.
That's something
Well,
my dad wants to
if you get him
do.
a new, yeah, yeah.
But all right, I got this next story right here. It's
Mhm.
first time me and my now boyfriend had sex. I had to pull a condom out of my cervix. Yeah, you
Oh
could
my
imagine.
God.
You could imagine this. This might be a little educational for some. Never happened to me, luckily, thank goodness. I hope it's not too disturbing. Please take it as a learning opportunity not to trust a condom. And don't keep pounding your girl if you're already finished. Honestly, I don't know where to start with this fucking bullshit. I don't think I need to get into the nitty gritty, but it happened November 1st of last year. We were just coming back from a party. We left early because we wanted to get down to business, if you know what I mean. This obviously would become a very regrettable decision in the near future. So we get home and it's going great. We're super comfy in bed watching a movie. You know, just the normal stuff that people do until things got, how do I say, strange. The experience was great, but once we were done, the condom had magically disappeared, which is not good. Yeah, of course
Oh
not.
my God.
Not good at all. You're a teenager on a Sunday when all the fucking pharmacies are closed. Where do we find this condom with the load contained in it? But of course, we come to no result. After many Google searches and tearing apart and rebuilding my bed as well as me going to the bathroom myself, my worst nightmares were actually becoming a reality because the condom wasn't in my bed and was nowhere to be found. I knew what had happened. I went back to my room. I physically could not handle the situation. I just cracked, and I probably look like a crazy woman, and I might be cooking up a baby as we speak with a lost condom inside me. I was so stressed. Yeah, I'd be stressed. What the fuck? What if I have to go to the doctors and get him to remove it for me?
Oh my God.
And what happens if that doctor's a man? So many horrible thoughts possibly running through me and my head had ended up becoming a hoot later on. So I leave this man with my cousins all around, else I would definitely have exposed us because I was on the verge of losing my sense and all this was going so batty and the shit was so insane. So I go up to the toilet and begin my search. The only tools I had were pure will and getting this thing out of me and my press-on nails. Just
Oh,
so you
that's
know,
god awful.
this was the first time I went to the bathroom and tried. I did feel the rib, but I was unsure. I did not know whether it was my own body or the condom. So I returned to my room, but I knew this time I was ready. I used all my willpower and determination and my nails to find this thing, and I did. I pulled it out successfully, and I didn't feel a thing, which was surprising. Somehow he managed to get that thing in parts of me so deep, I did not even know that it was fucking there. Not cool, man. So I'm on the
Oh,
toilet with the condom in my hands laughing, but also crying. In that moment, I felt a mixture of both relief and horror because there was no jizz in it, meaning I would need for the first time in my life take a plan B. This was definitely less traumatic than the removal, but we did have to speak to our parents. Not fun. Kids and women, if you're listening, just go on birth control. Safe sex is never safe. Not even condoms can protect you from a man's semen. And on this day, I learned that lesson. I would not take back this experience because I have an awesome boyfriend out of it, but the memory will haunt me even beyond the grave. Thank you for listening.
dear God. And he went full scared turtle while still in there and stuff.
He just
Applaud the man's, dedication, I guess. But that's a whole mess of stuff. I think every dude has been in a moment where maybe a condom breaks
all
or something
breaks
like
or
that, and they
slips
have to
off
do
or
Plan
something.
B, and especially being young. I think I was 18 and had one break, and my ex-girlfriend at the time, yeah, we had to go talk to her mom and be like, "Could you take us to the pharmacy and stuff?" And
Yeah.
that's just never a fun, like, you looking at an adult while
Dad
you're
staring
like,
back at you.
there was no dad, thank God. No dad,
You
thank
got lucky.
God. That would have been real rough. But yeah, you just looking back at that person, they looking at you, and you're like, you know what I did.
Well,
You
yeah, you
know,
know what
you
happened.
hey,
Well, from it sounds like they was at a party and either having some a little
man. She said
extracurriculars.
her cousins rolled in. Imagine being that
Yeah.
dude and being like, I got an audience. Like, oh
Oh
my God,
gosh.
I would just be like, I want out of this situation
One of the
pronto.
comments here says, I had this happen to me when I was 17 as well. Luckily, the guy I was with was kind enough to fish it out for me, and I didn't have to go
Ooh,
hunting myself.
you
A
just
little
hold
less
on a second. Let me
traumatic
get up in there.
experience for me, but the guy was calm, cool, and collected, even though we were both freaking out. Thankfully, I did not get pregnant from that experience. I can't say I learned my lesson because I ended up with a child a year later. Jeez,
Oh
bro.
my
So
God, bro.
17 then. Oh yeah, that's kind of rough. I mean, all the guys commenting on here though go straight to sounds like he used a monster condom for his less than magnum dong. They just want to hit the guy where it hurts.
I love it. That's
It's
it.
one guy says you're supposed to hold the condom and then pull out. Like what the hell?
Dude,
It's whatever. They were young and he obviously didn't know I applaud him for using a condom though. I mean, shit, it's more than a lot of kids do. You know.
dude, get at it, bro. Get at it. That's wild though, man. Like,
That is wild,
it
poor
doesn't.
girl. I mean, I can imagine what was going through her head. But this other story
Looking in
here,
the bed for it and stuff. I mean, it's only like a few places it could be, but tearing apart the room, it might be under the fucking rug, you know?
this other person right here wrote in, what is the proper etiquette when you sit beside a morbidly obese person in an economy class flight? Now, I've personally had this happen to me and Thomas when we was flying overseas and stuff, and it was not fun. It says, so I just experienced for the first time sitting beside a morbidly obese people in my flight. It was really uncomfortable experience because he/she took some of my seat space. After a couple of hours, I finally got up and asked the flight attendant if there's any empty seats that I can move to. Unfortunately, they didn't have any. I wonder if this is the right thing to do. And if there are no empty seats, what are my choices without gathering too much fuss? I ended up standing up for most of the flight, and my feet were sore as could be when I finally got to my destination. I really don't know what I should have done here, but I didn't want to embarrass myself or the people that I was sitting next to. I don't know if this ever has happened to you or not. There's
I
been,
mean,
yeah, go ahead.
I've flown quite a bit, but never anything to that degree. The handful of times I have flown, only a couple times I've been assigned seating, and we always check to make sure how packed the flight was, I guess. But what are you talking about, like morbidly obese?
Big
Like
people.
they just
Four
flooding?
hundo, 350,
Four.
400, 5'6". You know
Well,
what
I
I'm saying?
mean,
Like,
we're
up in that range.
you know, we're sizable people, so it's not like, you know, if I rolled up on my seat and I saw this motherfucker in a middle seat and he's like taking up 10 to 15% of my real estate, I'd be like, listen, bro, real talk, you gonna be my teddy bear, bro. I'm gonna be up in your business.
Yeah,
Like,
it happened
throw
a
an arm
lot.
around my shoulder or something, man, because we both got to get comfortable up in this. Otherwise, immediately,
Well, see,
I'd be like, yo, is there something in the far back?
I
Is
used to
there
get the
something
exit
like,
row because you'd have more leg room in the exit row. But one flight flying from Johannesburg, I made that mistake, got the exit row, and at the same time, I sat next to three other equally tall gentlemen, 6'6" and above, because they all thought the same thing. So then all three of us was uncomfortable for that flight. But this one lady, I'll never forget this because it sticks out in my head, Thomas. So he was in the window seat and I was in the aisle seat. I usually get the aisle because, I mean, we got broad shoulders and my shoulders hang over the sides of the seats anyway, you know? So, and not that I'm ginormous anybody, but I mean, that's how it is. Those seats are usually small anyway. And so I get the aisle so I can lean out into the aisle a little bit, you know? So this lady sits down between us and dude, she had an ass on her, Jeremy. I mean, she wasn't overweight. She just had huge hips and a big old ass. I mean, it was literally hanging into my seat and hanging into Thomas's seat. So
even
she's
with
like,
the armrest down?
what's that?
Even with the armrest down and stuff?
Well, she goes, do you mind if we can just keep these armrests up? Because you couldn't put
I'd have been like, hell nah, bitch.
So I felt bad.
Woman.
Well, I felt bad. And I was like, oh, no, you can. Thomas was like, I want mine down. And it literally rested on like her hip and ass. Her hip and ass curved out right there. And it rested on it. Oh, my God. I felt so bad.
Bro.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do? You know, I mean, usually those kind of people will get like, I mean, if they got to get those seatbelt extenders and stuff like that. I mean, they should be required to pay for 2 seats, but it's not like the airline can know, you know, the airline isn't going to know off the bat how big somebody is.
The airline could take steps to know.
But you should, you should, if you're paying for your seat, that should be your seat. Nobody else should be sitting in your seat, is how I look at it. You know, I mean, I paid for a spot
Well,
on this
if
airplane. If you're that big, you should have bought 2 spots.
outside of paying for first class, man, if they're paying the same, if they're in the same area and they're paying the same amount for your seat as they are their seat, don't be in my seat. Don't be in my seat.
Yeah.
But that's just a difficult situation because I mean, somebody so large, you're dealing with a lot of stuff. I always got aisle seats not because I felt wide, so I could put a leg out, so I could
That
stretch at
too.
least one leg or
I would
put
do
one
that.
leg
Yep.
out. Plus, man, I'm a frequent urinator, so I'm like, hit the bathroom.
Yeah,
hit the
it's easier
bathroom,
to get up and
I'm
down.
not.
I always same thing. Well, I mean,
And then
they could get those premium economy now, which is kind of nice because you get that extra little bit of leg room. It's still, I mean, even for us, it's not if you're over 6 foot, it still sucks. Don't get me wrong. Anything under
yeah,
business class over 6 foot sucks, but it's very expensive. So you try to do the best you can. That's why I sat in the aisle so I wouldn't inconvenience, have to climb over people and stuff. You know, me and you are bigger
yeah.
fellas.
Window. I'm like, you have that
Yeah,
window,
take
bro.
that
I
window.
don't.
Get
We're
that
tall
window
enough
all
where
day.
I don't need that plane curve into my nugget
Oh,
tilted the whole time.
you can go like this and sleep or something, you know, especially on them long ass flights. I just never was able to sleep on flights unless I was absolutely physically exhausted to that point.
Yeah.
Whatever, just a couple stories I thought was funny. Just fire off a couple of them. What do you got for us today?
I just gotta. Would I be the asshole? Let me jump right into it and everything. This dude says, my ex and I were together for about 3 years, and we lived together for the last year and a half. We lived in a condo that I owned outright. I bought it a few years ago before we even met. She quit her job last year to go back to school full-time for a graduation program, or a graduate program. I supported her through it, paid for everything, rent, groceries, utilities, all of it. I also work full-time and handled most of the household stuff, cooking, cleaning, errands. It's not perfect, but I do my best. The last few months, things got really tense. Her program is demanding, and she's been stressed out constantly. She started criticizing everything I did. Never a good thing. The way I clean wasn't good enough. The way I made meals was boring. I felt I couldn't do anything right no matter how hard I tried.
So this guy's working, paying the bills, paying for her, cooking and cleaning, and she's complaining about it.
This man's holding them down while she's holding herself down. And that's an interesting thing. So he goes on to say, we had a big blow up a few weeks ago and she ended it. She said she couldn't do this anymore. Honestly, I wasn't even that surprised. We hadn't been happy for a while. Now that we are broken up, I told her I think she needs to move out. This is my place. I owned it before her, and I'm the only one on the title. Rightfully so. It's your condo.
Yeah, it's your condo.
I don't think it's healthy for either of us to keep living together after a breakup. It is not. No, 100% not.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says she has nowhere to go. Her family isn't in a position to take her in, and she doesn't have any close friends nearby. She used most of her savings on tuition, so she's basically broke. She says if I make her leave, she'll have to drop out of her program. Should have thought about that before you made some decisions.
Welcome to being an adult.
I'm thinking of giving her 45 days to figure something out. That's more than legally required, legit. But now she's saying she wants to work things out, that maybe we moved too fast and she was just stressed.
Of course she does.
I don't buy it, he says. Yeah, right,
No.
Of course.
Yeah.
It feels like she's only saying this because she needs a place to stay, not because she actually wants to be with me.
Security
I don't
blanket.
hate her. Yeah, right. Safety net. I don't hate her, but I also don't want to live with somebody who dumped me and is only backtracking because she's scared. Yeah, man, I would have booted too. Like,
Bye-bye.
like
You got parents.
you want to be. They lived together for a year and a half, he says, and while she was going through her program, he's holding her down, making sure everything's on point while she's focusing on herself and her career path. I feel that's very selfish. I mean, the criticism is what it is. If you're going to sit here and pick at me day in and day out while I'm out here doing the most, while you're just focused on one aspect of your life, while I'm holding us down, and then you want to criticize me and everything, that's wild. That's wild. People in the comments are like, yeah, Booter, you're in the right. You're not the a-hole, all that stuff. Somebody was like, tell her to go to the social services and apply for welfare. But
Food stamps, girl.
Yeah, you can't expect somebody you're not married to, and even when you're married sometimes, you can't expect them to just deal with stuff. We've already touched on this. You a grown person
Cheryl?
and you just a person and you live in your life. You have no obligation to oblige anyone for anything, in my opinion. It don't matter. If you start becoming more of a takeaway than a benefit and the serious sense, listen, man, ain't nobody got time for that. As I've said before, we all stressed. Life is hard. Everyone's working. Nobody's getting paid enough. Whatever that looks like and stuff. But yeah, this lady definitely did not think about the consequences to her actions prior. But
Well, that's that
good for
entitlement,
the
man.
dude that
I
she
feel like she
didn't,
wasn't
because
thankful. She wasn't thankful for
entitlement, bro.
the
It's
things
called
that he was
entitlement.
providing and the comfort that he was providing for her. It wasn't reciprocated. He's cooking, he's cleaning, he's working, he's
Yeah,
trying. Like, it's something you have to do when it is totally not something you have to do. It's something you agree upon doing. But if she was treating me like crap, that's rough, man. It's like taking care of another child almost, I mean, when you're financially responsible
yeah.
for
No,
somebody in
you're
all
taking care
sense,
of somebody.
yeah, especially another adult. They're not working during this time. They're focused on something. And especially if it's your wife and you guys decide on this because it can mutually benefit you guys in the future, then that's a totally different thing, but yeah,
Yeah.
if I was getting flack from it, like, oh, I need this taken care of and this taken care of and this taken care of. No, 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 no. Let's backtrack on that real quick.
Yeah, man, it's crazy what people rationalize when they're stressed out. I'm not saying this lady is just having it easy going through the program. We know school's rough for everyone, especially when you're doing something serious.
Yeah.
But
People be thankful.
people,
Be
yeah, take
thankful.
a beat, man.
Yeah.
Take a beat. Think about the situation in its entirety. I mean, people shouldn't be out there using people. That's for
No.
sure. That's a given.
And we come from a
I
single
don't.
mom with 3 kids. We saw our own mom go through this that didn't have no
Oh
help,
yeah.
didn't have no ride, getting on them buses to go to school. I mean, I give
Oh
I
yeah.
give her kudos in that situation. She did do all that stuff, but it caused me and you to have to step up very young and be on our own and help take care of our little sister and do all this stuff. And luckily we were in the right mindset to do that, thankfully. But for somebody like her
No.
that had somebody there helping her, providing for
Yeah.
her, no kids in the mix, and then you're still going to be an a-hole about it and chastise man like, oh, dinner's not good enough, then you go get dinner. Why don't you make dinner? So you bring home
Yeah.
a pizza. Let's do something. Let's be real here.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy
Especially if
talk.
you ain't financially contributing too, like
Yeah.
well, I mean, you see that so much today in today's dynamic and what certain people demand in relationships. Girls and guys out there wanting certain things that are just kind of outlandish and ridiculous. Like
Oh, I see
girls
it all
being
the
like,
time.
"Oh, like the man always has to pay," and it's like,
He needs to be 6 foot making 6 figures. What do you bring to the table? I bring myself.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're really
Oh,
believing
you
that
all
though.
that, huh?
They're
You
really
all that.
really believing that. I don't care if you're a trophy wife or not. That gets old real quick.
What's that saying? Show me a beautiful woman, I'll show you a man tired of her shit.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
that's great. I love
Listen,
that for
fellas,
you. Keep it moving.
you
Keep
know,
it fucking moving.
I know plenty and seen plenty of rich people that have the nicest car that would be, oh, that Bugatti would be nice for me. I wouldn't want anything else. With that Bugatti, perfect. And they still buy another car.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Shit gets old. You get tired. It's just,
Fulfillment looks different to everyone,
that's why you got to
especially
go as a
emotional
team.
and mental fulfillment. Was that?
I said, you got to go at it as a team. If you guys aren't on the same wavelength and trying to better each other's lives and just worried about yourself, it ain't ever going to work.
Yeah, if you're not on the same page with that stuff and the goal and understanding what sacrifice have to be made to reach that goal, then that's definitely a hindrance to a lot of things. And even in this post, he said they were together for 3 years and lived together for half that time.
Yeah.
I mean, extensive conversation about what that commitment looks like and then understanding. I preach this all the time. The biggest factors in a good relationship is compromise and understanding. Understanding that you're not always right and compromising in the sense of being willing to listen and really listen, not listen to respond, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. You got to
And,
hear what people are saying, like really
you
hear
have
it,
to at
not
least
just
hear
hear it.
what your partner's saying in those moments of stress, because if you're stressed, they're most likely stressed.
Yeah.
And it's shared stress, even though it's different stresses. And that's why communication's important, because if you get to a breaking point and you do something you shouldn't do, but you hurt the person you're with, and it's a result of you being stressed out, that's still no excuse.
Yeah, for
Saying,
sure.
break the plate to say you're sorry, that's great. Plate's still broken kind of thing.
Can't
And
take stuff back.
yeah, I mean, this dude is well within his
Oh,
right to be like,
yeah,
listen, man,
for sure.
if we're not together, it's not it didn't sound like he was like, if we're not together, you need to leave ultimatum wise. Like
No, yeah, he
you
still
need,
sounds like he's still trying to be, an adult about the situation. Like, hey, I'll give you the
copacetic,
time, but
right? Like he's trying to be
you need to
respectful of
move
her.
on.
Like, hey, listen, the dynamic isn't going to work for me moving forward. So here's an allotted amount of time. But 45 days to get your crap together, like
Yeah, it's
she
different.
made decisions.
It's different
She
in
made
different like
decisions. She
states
don't
and
like the
counties of
repercussion
what,
of her
how long
decisions.
they have to move out and squatters' rights and all these other crazy things that we hear stories about. But in that situation, maybe he is right. Maybe she only has 45 days. I don't know. But at least he's giving her that time. It's not like he packed all his shit out and threw it on the front lawn, which we've heard many stories
Yeah.
about, so
I
it is
mean,
what it is.
it's
Be careful,
yeah, it
people.
is
You
what
can't
it
take back
is.
things you say. Take that
Yeah,
time. Think about what you're going to do before you
words
do it.
hurt, sticks and stones, that ain't true,
Yeah,
bro.
and
Like,
and that trust, after she's like, "Oh, it's over, and you're not good enough," and all this, and now it's, "Oh, well, I can't find anything, but let's work it out." I
well,
mean, if
the
this dude's any
severity of
kind of an
this,
adult, he's gonna be like, "Yeah, no, I'm not working out
well,
nothing."
she took that trust away that
Yeah,
he originally
yeah,
had in her.
yeah,
He's going to, if he was silly enough to be okay, we can get back together, but still going to be in the back of his mind what she said. And then
yeah.
also her long-term commitment to that relationship. He is right in that assumption at the very end of the post. I don't trust what she's saying.
Yeah,
And,
he's thinking as soon
you
as she
know,
finishes that degree and gets her to on her feet and gets her job, then she's gonna be like, gone out the window.
yeah, you see
That would
that
be my
slow
guess. Uh-huh.
decline as it gets
Yeah.
closer to her fulfilling the accomplishment she set out for, back to being nitpicky, creating issue, really justifying that breakup and being like, we haven't been, but
I wish
it
we get
seems
some
like he's
comments in here
smart
to
enough
other
to
guys to see what they would do.
what's that?
I said I want some comments in here to see what other guys would do. Would you keep her? Would you
Yeah,
kick her out? What
huh.
would you do? But
Oh, I would have booted her too, man. I mean, I'd be
oh
nice
yeah, for
about it,
sure.
but still been like, I'm
Yeah,
not trying to
yeah.
be around you. Well, most of the time too, condos, just 1-bedroom apartments.
I don't care if
We're
it was
not
a
together,
mansion.
but
I don't
what,
even
you
want
just
you in
going
the
to
left
sleep on
wing.
my couch for
Yeah.
the next month and a half?
We've been
Or
together
we're
four
going
and
to
a
be
half
head
years, and
toe
you're
in the
chucking up
bed?
deuces at me after I put out all this time and effort, and nothing I did was good enough. Well, obviously, it's still not good enough. You're just backpedaling right now because, yeah. Anyway, we're saying the same thing, but yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
I
Yeah, that's
gotcha.
all I really have for this one and stuff. I just thought it
All
was
right.
an interesting, dynamic kind of post. Like
Yeah.
that's just silly.
And we'll keep her short today then. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Stopping by.